I wanted to do this video a little bit differently. We're going to go over the new Engl Steve Morse amp. And if you're new to the channel, a lot of this is not going to make sense to you. But this is the way I have to kind of do the video because a couple years ago, I met the guys at Engl in Germany. And I happened to mention to them that one of my favorite amps of all time is the Fireball 100. I had one, I loved it, but it was 100 watts and it was heavy and it wasn't practical for me. And they said, hey, we actually have a Fireball 25 coming up. And they were nice enough to send one out to do a video on. And I fell in love with this amp. In fact, I'll put the link to the video down below. I demonstrated that I can get everything from rock to blues to metal from it. It's, to this day, the most versatile lunchbox small platform amplifier I've ever played. It has a built-in attenuator. It's made in Germany. I think then it was 1,100 bucks. Now it's like $1,300. Fantastic amplifier. About a year later, they said, hey, we have something new and exciting, and it was the Ironball SE Special, which was a lunchbox amplifier that has delay, reverb, boost, you name it. Sent it, did a video of that, and in that video, I compared it to the Fireball and why I still like the Fireball 25. I like the clean. The problem was on the Ironball SE, which was a fantastic amplifier. There was a couple features. That was great, you know, delay, reverb, noise gate. But the clean. The problem with amplifiers this size is room is paramount, and they have to do things like share EQ. So 2 channels, but shared EQ. On this amp, for some reason, the EQ just loves working with both channels. So once I dial in a great clean channel sound on the clean channel, when I switch over the gain, you know, it's just about how much more gain or volume I need, but the EQing sounds great. On the Ironball SE, every time I got the clean to sound the way I wanted, the gain was just a little muddy. Once I brightened up the gain and it sounded fantastic, then the clean channel was just too chimey and glassy for me. My one complaint, my biggest complaint on small portable lunchbox style amplifiers is the cleans are always so bright and glassy, and then therefore kind of thin in my ears. But that's not the problem. The problem is I, like a lot of you, use these style amps for one of 3 reasons. One, late night playing at home. Obviously, we don't need, you know, giant stacks at the house. They're just more practical that way. The second thing is portability. You can take them places and run your pedal board through them. And if the clean is too thin and bright or glassy, it's not only not great for the pedals, but it also makes the pedals do things I don't want them to do, like get fizzy, the top end fizz. It kind of exaggerates some of the things about pedals I don't like, which is they don't sound very thick like an actual tube amplifier. The other thing is, of course, is a one-stop shop. In other words, taking a small amplifier like this, an amplifier like this to a gig where you don't have to take anything else. Just having a good overdrive channel and a clean channel, you can just get through all the songs, is a fantastic plus. But of course, having everything under the sun inside of it is fantastic too. So when they mentioned that they have a new Steve Morse amp coming out, first, I'm a huge Steve Morse fan, of course, and the Steve Morse head is one of my favorite Engls as well because it's not as fizzy. It's a little bit more punchy and throaty, right? It just sounds it's got a little bit more bark in the distortion. I know, I hope that makes sense. Like, you know, you hit a chord and it's more AC/DC and less, like I said, fizzy. And so I was excited. But it's based, you can tell, on the SE Ironball platform. I mean, they look almost identical. So you can see what they did. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens. Couple things. First of all, let's just talk about this amp. A couple things they did that's great. This handle, this is awesome. It just folds in like that. It's pretty cool. If you don't know about this style amplifier, it is made in Germany. It's about $1,500 US. It is cold rolled steel. It's literally like a church bell. It's fantastic. And built like a tank. This is about 15 pounds, so about 2 gallons of milk. So pretty heavy, but like a, you know, maybe more like 12 pounds. Like 12 pounds. loaded with features. But they made 2 changes, okay, besides the handle. 2 changes to the sound of this amp. Okay, cosmetically, the blue face looks fantastic. But let's go over the back, and then I'll tell you the 2 changes, which I think just changed everything for me. First of all, in the back, it is just crazy. So what you have here is you have a delay built in, but it's not just a delay with a mix control. It has a mix control. It has a delay time, and it has a delay feedback. So this is a 3-knob delay built into the amp, just like you would get if you got like a Boss pedal, like a 3-knob pedal, delay pedal. So fantastic. It's a digital delay, and it sounds really good, and it's just fantastic. Then it has a digital reverb. And so it's a 1-knob control on the reverb, just how much you want reverb. I'm pretty sure it's a plate reverb is what it sounds like. It didn't sound like a spring to me, but it sounds great. It has a built-in noise gate. And again, this is a control for the noise gate as well. And that is important because all of that can be assigned through this MIDI switch, so that if you want to get either a MIDI switch or a MIDI an Engl MIDI switch, you can assign those so that, like, on the gain channel, the noise gate kicks on with the delay, but on the clean channel, the reverb kicks on, right? That's pretty cool. But let's say you're not into that. Doesn't matter. There's that doesn't come with a foot switch, but you can plug a basic foot switch into it that will, 2-button foot switch that will let you change between the clean and the dirty and turn on the boost. There's actually a boost built into the amp that is foot switchable. Then you have a USB out, and not USB. You have a USB cable for loading in more impulse responses. This comes with 8 impulse responses, but you can change it and add your own for direct out. On the direct out, you have a XLR out that has a ground lift. So if you're at a gig, you're getting a loop, a noise loop, you can go ahead and hit the ground loop. And then you have an effects loop, and that's also can be controlled through MIDI. And there's switches on the front, and we'll go over that in a second, that does everything. You have a headphone out because here it has an attenuator. So the attenuator lets you go from 20 watts to 5 watts to 1 watt to no watts, and that's just bypass. You can just plug in your headphones in the back, use the volume control here, and use it as a headphone amp if you want to do direct recording, or just use it as a headphone amp. So fantastic. You have 2 speaker outs. It will do 2 16 ohm cabinets, or 1 16 ohm or 1 8 ohm cabinet. So that's pretty much every situation you're going to need there. That's for sure. And now let's go to the front. The front, which is where it's really important. First of all, you have the input for the amp. Then you have a clean gain and a lead gain. The lead gain is most important on this amp because when we do the sound demo at the end of the video, I got to let you know that this gain is definitely voiced more like the Steve Morse amp, where it is not as high gain. It's not that high gain Engl amp that you're used to. This is more of a mid gain, right? So you'll have to judge that for yourself. Then there's a bass, middle, and treble control that are shared. But more importantly, here's where the change happens. There's a presence control on the Ironball SE. The presence control, which is essentially a treble control for the power section. That's the way I can only dumb it down for me, and for probably for you guys too. But more importantly, on the Ironball, it was assigned to the lead channel. And my problem was the lead channel had enough highs. I actually needed the clean channel to be a little bit more brighter than the lead channel, and there was no control just for the clean channel. So obviously they moved it, because now this presence control is assigned to the clean channel. So obviously Steve may have thought just like me and said, hey, if that could just change that, if you could just fix that. I didn't think to do that, by the way. I just looked at the amp and went, oh, too bad it doesn't do that. He obviously was Steve Morse and said, hey, if you could change that, that'll probably fix what I'm having. Maybe he was having the same issue as me. It's like he was getting 2 great tones, but he couldn't switch between those 2 tones without making some adjustments. So obviously a little bit lower in the gain section on this, and moving that presence control. This made this amp fantastic. Now, why am I doing all this? Why am I talking like this and doing this? Is because here's the important part. I love the Fireball 25. I've said that 1,000 times on the show, but more importantly, I have used this in over 100 videos. So obviously I love it. I keep using it. I still have it all these years later. I love it. It's my go-to. When the Ironball SE came out, it was great, but it was not going to replace my Fireball. It's just not going to do it. This is better. I like this way better. When I say better, it's not the quality difference. It's just now it has a clean channel and a dirty channel that's more like this, more meaning more versatile in my opinion, like this. But man, here are the features. Ready? All these switches in the front. This is what you can do. You can have a clean boost, gain boost. You can store any of these presets, like I said, to a MIDI. You have the switch that takes you from dirty to clean. You have a mid MVB boost pedal, MVB switch, which is like a mid boost. I leave it on all the time. This amp has it too. It's just a mid boost. Maybe that's not exactly what it is, but that's what my ears hear. So mid boost on both all the time, which is what to me defines these differently than the 5150 amps and the Archons, all those high gain 6505 amps that are great, but they're just a little, to me, just a little too in one territory of music for me. Adding the mids to these amps really kind of makes it more like something I could do, like if I'm doing AC/DC, and then I can go to like Pantera and then everywhere in between. And then if I want blues, I can make that happen too. You have a reverb and delay. These are switchable by here. You can just reach over and do this, which is great when you're sitting and recording or playing in the room. You just reach over and do all the switching yourself. They're just little switches. There's an effects loop switch. You can turn that on and off. So if you're running something through the effects loop, and then of course there's a noise gate. So everything can be switched and controlled on the front, on the fascia. Even though this thing's super tiny, everything is presented here. The stuff that's in the back is what I call more of a permanent control. In other words, you would set that and then forget that. So you don't need to access much in the back once you do it. Everything in the front you can, or you can assign it to a MIDI controlled pedal, or you could just set it the way you like and leave it. Fantastic. This amp has, let's count them because some of you guys really are into that. 1, 2, 3, 4 preamp tubes and 2 EL84 power tubes, which is slightly different than this animal because this animal, it's not so much how many preamp tubes in it, this has the 6L6 power tubes and this version of the Fireball. And when I told the guys at Engl a couple years ago that I like this, just the clean channel just sounded bigger, fuller, and not as glassy as the Iron Ball, they said, well, maybe it was the power tubes. And look, they're amp guys, they would probably know, but in my mind, I was like, I don't think that's it. So obviously, it was this. It was just an easy adjustment to just moving the presence control over, giving just a little bit more to the clean channel, a little bit more tone control of the clean channel to get that sweet in there. So fantastic. This is absolutely my favorite Engl now. Without a doubt. So let's go through and play it. I'm going to start with the clean channel, of course, because that's the thing that I wanted to talk about the most. Have the boost off. I'm running the reverb, not the delay. We're running it through a 112 cabinet with a creamback selection. I got it mic'd up with an SM57. I have a room mic. And I mean, it's great. It's up there with my Princeton. Chimey and clean. If you look, I'm not even using the presence control now. I have it kind of just on 0. Let's add a little bit of more. Right there. Just. It sounds great. Now what's really cool is I'm in humbucker on the neck. Let's go to single coil on the neck. Then hit that boost control and watch what happens. Now you get the stratty tone, but you get a punch to it still and a fullness, and you don't feel like your volume dropped off from your humbucker. Yeah, fantastic. And back to the humbucker. Now this is the humbucker neck with the boost. Now what's great about attenuation is if you're playing right now at the volume I'm at, this is definitely like home practice volume right now, but what's great is sometimes at night you want to turn it down a little bit, and if you turn the volumes on some of the amps, then the tone changes a little bit and you want to change the EQing a little bit. On this one you just use the attenuator. Feels the same, sounds the same, just a lot quieter. I'm going to let you hear it through the lapel mic right now. According to my decibel meter, this is at 70 decibels. And I'm talking at about 69 decibels, so it tells you right there. Let's go ahead and switch it over to turn the boost off. Let's turn the reverb off. Hit that delay. What's nice is you can see the delay timing right there. And then go ahead and switch it to the gain channel. Here's the gain channel. And go ahead. And I'm going to turn the lead volume up just a little bit. I love this so much. Let's go ahead, neck pickup. Let's go ahead and hit the boost. Great, because I'm not running a ton of gain, but it's just letting me have more sustain. Turn that off. So now I have the gate on. Turn that delay off. And now let's run the gain all the way to 10. Now, this is the highest gain with the gate on and the boost. Let's go ahead and turn the boost off, turn the delay off. I'm going to put the reverb on. I'm going to switch the channel over to the clean. So we're on the clean now. I'm going to use my OD11. This is a Love Pedal OD11. I use it in so many videos, so you're familiar with it. It's just a light overdrive. Now it's just a clean platform. Now remember, I'm using the reverb off this. I can also use the delay. And now I have a great sounding, just a clean pedal platform. But I don't know, I didn't think about it now. Turn off the pedal, here's clean again. Let's see if I can go to the overdrive, the lead channel. And I wonder how clean I can get that. So again, don't know if it's gonna get that clean. We're gonna try a couple things. Now keep in mind, I am using my volume control, which is now messing with the gate. So let's go ahead and turn the gate off. We don't need the gate on. Okay. That sounds good, right? I'm in single coil mode though. So let's go to humbucker. great. Let's do this. Let's turn the lead gain up. Clean it up with the guitar. Oh, wow. Cold rolled steel. Look at that. So like a church bell. It's fantastic. So Steve Morse, fantastic job. Engl, fantastic job. And hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope it was helpful. As always, thank you so much for this time, and know your gear.